All right, John. So we're in here for a little something different this week because the voting for the greatest game of all time is currently still happening, at least as of this recording, and it is still going to be going on until the end of Sunday, the 23rd. So there's still plenty of time to get your votes in. Definitely get your thoughts out there, especially if you're one of the many people who have complained about the lack of variety and the lack of the fact that these damn Nintendo fans keep screwing things up and not letting these other games get in. This is your chance. Spread it around. Let people know. Get them to vote. And let's see what will make it in there. But we have another week to go. We got to fill it with something. We can't just have a little break. And there's a lot of games that made it in once we changed up our duplicate rule, John, where we got rid of the fact that like duplicates already count, could be separate just because it became such a minor thing that we just combined them. We just combined them. It made sense. I ever since doing that, like it threw off maybe the original intent of that console, but the point of this whole thing was always leading towards that final poll more than anything else.
Yeah, so it goes beyond a console. It's about the broad industry as a whole.
Yeah, and obviously, I've had so many people like vote on it so far and be like, I didn't have this game on there. This sucks. What do I do about this? Like I had to just sort of get around the fact that my actual favorites weren't on there, which. True, it is tough, but that's just how the voting kind of laid out.
We've tried to give as many chances as we can. We did the wild card top 10. This rule was to get more games in there. Mm-hmm. So we've tried our best. We just can't make everything happen.
It's still funny to me that we were able to get Umaneko in the top 10 of one of these, but not Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Monster Hunter's had many a chance. PSP was probably its biggest chance. I don't think it was it like top 20 maybe or something on that platform?
Maybe that's the best it's ever done. Yeah. It's never been able to really make it.
No.
So, but we wanted to give it a chance to actually talk about some of these other games because we talked about them in passing, and then didn't get into any real discussion on them. So we have a handy dandy sheet here, thanks to Thief of RPG on Bluesky, who's been doing a lot of stats on this stuff. So I have what made it in, but I kind of forgot what they replaced. Thief of RPG kept track of that. So we have that all set to go. So we can go over and talk about the games that did make it in thanks to the duplicate rule. So let's go ahead and start because we got 27 different games to talk about. Technically 29 were replaced. 29 were duplicates. Basically, at the time, I immediately combined it with Sonic Cross Generations. Like, it's essentially the same. It's fine. The original Sonic Generations is still in there. And then there wasn't a replacement on one of them for the 2000s era because there was a tie at the end. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have 29 games that got sort of shuffled in, but 27 only got replaced. So let's just go ahead and start off the bat with the system that got the most replacements right off the bat was the Game Gear. Because Game Gear is essentially a master system.
It is. It's just a portable master system. Both very similar hardware, very, very similar games. There's even a cartridge adapter to play master system games on your Game Gear. That's how similar they are.
Yeah. So I don't think I realized that. I only heard about the Nomad, which, killed batteries. Yeah. But first up, Sonic the Hedgehog 8-bit got replaced by Shining Force, the Sword of Asia.
Rad.
How familiar are you with this game, John?
I've played it because I had a friend growing up who had it. And I thought that was super, super cool. I've never owned it myself, but I dabbled in it growing up. It's the first exposure to Shining Force I had. I thought it was just really, really cool. I hadn't played a strategy game at that point. I think this might have been the first one I was exposed to. I just thought it was really, really cool. I've got to go back and play it myself one day, without any just over-the-shoulder gameplay watching. But I thought this was really cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It is definitely Master System / Game Gear's all get out, but it is still captures that the look of Shining Force. It still has like the UI very much used in the same way. Even has the battle system. This system, honestly, it kind of feels like what Fire Emblem would become once it went to the GBA.
Pretty much. I mean, Game Gear was way ahead of its time compared to Game Boy anyway. Like you had full color and a backlit screen. So these kind of visuals are perfect for a handheld. Ones that don't move around too much. There's not much ghosting going on because it's mostly a static screen. But yeah, I'm happier to see this make it. When Master System already has all the Sonic games, getting that variety in is what it's all about.
Yeah, and trying to get Shining Force a little bit more representation because I think it only got Shining Force 3, which I know it was a fan favorite, but I know a lot of people were hoping for Shining Force 2 as well. Which shame it didn't make it in there, but that's this top 500 is a cruel mistress. Like you'd think with 500 games, like you could cover everything. No,
500 is not enough.
No, it's not enough. Next game that got replaced is Sonic Chaos. It got replaced with Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. So here is your one representation for Puyo Puyo, John.
And it's arguably the worst one. I think this is cool. It's probably most people's first Puyo Puyo. It was my first Puyo Puyo. I think I played it in Sonic Mega Collection, maybe. And it's cool. It's based off the Sonic cartoon, so you've got some characters in there. But if you've played Puyo Puyo, this is Puyo Puyo 1, so you don't have all the mechanics from 2. It's just basic color matching, really, with a few combos in there. The whole counter system isn't really there like it is in Puyo 2. So it's not the best representation for Puyo Puyo, but it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, it got, as you said, it's an introduction point of it. I never played it. I kept seeing stuff for Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. I was like, well, that seems interesting because Dr. Robotnik got his own game. That's weird. I remember that being my thoughts when I saw this game as a kid, but I never picked it up for whatever reason. I just didn't think about it until it was much later that I think it wasn't until Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection that I gave it a try. And I was trying to platinum because it was really easy to get a lot of those trophies. This one is the only one I could not get a trophy on because you had to get to Dr. Robotnik and beat him. And no, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I am terrible at Puyo Puyo. And so, yeah, I just never managed it.
It's an interesting time for the West because we didn't get Puyo Puyo 2 until the Neo Geo Pocket Color. That was our first Puyo Puyo 2. And then Super Nintendo got their own Mean Bean Machine with Kirby Avalanche, which is the exact same game, just with Kirby. It's so interesting that we've got all these reskins, but never the real thing.
Yeah, it's very much treated in the same way as how Panel de Pon got transformed into Tetris Attack. Apparently, Americans just did not like cutesy girls.
I guess so.
That's really what it came down to.
Yeah. But now we fully embrace them.
Yes.
Times have changed.
It's about time times have changed. All right. Next up, replacing Gunstar Heroes on Game Gear, which that would have been weird to have that version.
That's not usually something to celebrate, replacing Gunstar Heroes, but we're okay with it this time.
Hey, at least we got the Genesis version in there because that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Another one I'm not familiar with, the GG Shinobi or the Game Gear Shinobi.
Oh, Game Gear Shinobi. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I like this list a lot more already because we're getting a lot more just Game Gear exclusives. Last time it was just Master System portable versions. Yeah, this is rad.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's different about this one from other Shinobi games. Honestly, I'll be honest, I've not really played a lot of Shinobi titles. I still haven't even played Shinobi 3, haven't played the newest one that came out either. I've just somehow missed it.
Did you play like Revenge of Shinobi at all, or
I think I played the original like arcade one, again part of the Genesis collection. I played enough of it to get the trophy and then moved on.
Okay. All right.
It's like I was just going after trophies at that point, getting a little taste of each of them, and then move on to the next one.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't one I've played a whole lot of, but I think it's just cool to get a lot more Shinobi in there. If you do get the chance, Revenge of Shinobi and Shinobi 3 are the ones to probably go for. But yeah, this is a really cool one.
Yeah. Looks like it's 5 levels, rescuing different people. Each ninja character has a unique weapon. So there's that. Oh, there's a character switching system. That's what's unique about this one.
Okay,
So there you
cool.
go. Um, so yeah, the GG Shinobi, good for it. Next up is uh Sonic the Hedgehog 2 8-bit
Okay,
being replaced by columns.
cool. Very cool.
Another
We've
puzzle.
talked about this a lot, I feel like. Game Gear Sonic 2 has that screen crunch that most people experience because very few played it on Master System where it doesn't have that. So you get a very poor impression of that game. Not to say it's like the best Sonic game or anything, but
Yeah.
its problems were largely the screen crunch. So getting rid of that, I'm totally fine with. And columns, I played quite a lot of columns. I think it was in a collection as well. Maybe not the Game Gear version, but um, very neat puzzler. One that hasn't had an appearance in a long time at this point.
I so I played it for the old Game Club
Yeah.
series. And I found it to be incredibly basic because
Mm.
I don't think you can rotate it all. It's very limiting what you can do. It's just get it and place it, and then set up your um, how your score from that
Yeah.
point. It's not. It felt like the strategy wasn't there, and I did say at the time, it's like I can't imagine because we played the the Genesis version,
Yeah.
and it's like it feels weird to be playing this one like on a console. Like it feels so basic, but it'd be perfect for a handheld version, which hey, you kind of have now with the Switch, but also there's a lot more in the Switch at this point. Did not realize at the time that there was a Game Gear version. So I honestly think that the Game Gear version is probably the superior version of
Yeah.
Columns just
I
because of
think
that.
this was quite iconic. Like
It
Columns was a
was.
pretty well known game. It was like Sega's Tetris for a long time. It was in like all of their collections for ages as well.
Mhm.
It's just been a while since they've ever acknowledged it though. I
Yeah.
remember liking it growing up. It has been a while since I've tried it again though.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, I know there was some sort of switching mechanic. So it's not, you don't rotate it like Tetris.
Yeah,
You cycle through the line. So let's say you
that's
have
right.
red, orange, green. You can cycle orange down to where the green was, green up to the top, and so
Yeah.
forth. To cycle it that way. But I don't find that as immediately satisfying, I guess.
Mm, yeah.
But that's just a personal take. And honestly, it being on Game Gear, great choice
Yeah, for
as
sure.
far as that's concerned.
Cool.
So.
Columns is gonna be the best game of all time. Let's do it,
Yeah,
Columns.
yeah, let's do it. Apparently, it was the fourth highest grossing arcade game of 1990.
Well, there you go.
So
That's
there you
not
go.
bad.
Next Game Gear game to be replaced was Rystar, which
Uh,
did have some differences apparently, but not. Yeah, that didn't feel like enough to really make it that big of a difference. There's like, it's not the same as Sonic Genesis versus Sonic Master
sure.
System. You know,
Yeah.
so got struck that off the list, and instead it got replaced by Power Strike 2 slash excuse me GG Alest 2.
I've got to Google this. One
So
second.
yeah, so this
Yeah.
is a shoot 'em up. This is a shoot 'em up game. I believe Japanese exclusive. Yes, it was.
Ah,
Vertical. It was an entry in the Alest series.
okay. Yeah,
So
I
part of
do
that.
recognize this. It was there's this illustration of a guy in a spacesuit that I definitely recognize. I don't know. Have I played this? I can't remember. It's really familiar
I
though.
definitely have not.
Mm,
Honestly, this looks pretty cool. And the other
yeah.
nice part is that it's it's a shooter. You don't need to read anything. You could get Game Gear on the Switch NSO, put this bad boy on there. Bam, you're good to go. You can play
Yeah.
this.
The use of color is really cool as well. Because obviously, like Game Boy wouldn't have anything like that. But you've got lots
Oh
of very
no,
rich blues in the seas and lots of just colors that pop. Like this looks awesome.
yeah, it looks really cool. Apparently 6 stages. Obviously getting harder as you go along. Um, Let's see. After the second and fifth stages is a bonus round reminiscent of Afterburner, where enemies fly in preset formations the player must then shoot down.
Yeah.
You collect power chips. There's 4 different special weapons. Yeah, this is just a solid ass shooter for the Game Gear.
It
That's
looks like
all.
the Master System version released in Europe, but the Game Gear
Oh,
version
okay.
didn't.
Weird. Very weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the kind of cool stuff that I like finding out about,
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't know it. And apparently it got a sequel, GGLS 3, as part of the Alest collection for Switch and
What?
PS4. They put a brand new game in there, I believe, and made it for the Game Gear. Like it's designed for the Game Gear.
Okay. Rad. Yeah, I've not heard about this. The Alest collection's gone very high on my radar now, though.
Yeah. So that's really cool. That was created by staff who worked on shoot-up titles from the 90s, such as Blazing Laser, Super Star Soldier, and Battle Garega.
Damn it. Yeah. Really cool.
Again, the whole point of this and a lot of ideas is, hey, I'm going to increase your backlog.
Yeah.
You're welcome. All right. Our last duplicate on the Game Gear was Streets of Rage 2. Let's be honest, you're going to be playing the game. Like, it's cool that you can have it on the Game Gear. You're going to be playing on the Genesis.
You want that ease of access for multiplayer.
Yeah. And it was replaced by another Japanese exclusive, Sylvan Tale.
Sylvan Tale.
Yes, that is a more it's an action adventure game, very much like I believe like a Zelda.
Man, it's really impressive visual. I'm getting like Golden Sun vibes. It's not done by the same developers, is it?
No, it's developed by Sega. The music was composed by Saori Kobayashi.
Oh, the Panzer Dragoon
soundtracks of Panzer Dragoon Saga and Order. Yes.
Whoa.
So it probably has a kick-ass soundtrack at the very least.
Damn, and does it have text? Is this a text-heavy game?
I don't know on that one. There's not a whole lot of information about it, but it doesn't seem like it'd be too text-heavy. I can see it having some in there, but it does have that sort of Golden Sun style for the main character.
It looks really good. It's like Zelda-esque visuals, or a Zelda-esque looking world with Golden Sun visuals. And then presumably godly soundtrack, if that's the composer.
So there must be a translation pack out there, because I see English version is like, got an orange, your life bar is increased from Nintendo Life's website. So I bet that there's a translation out there for it. Yeah.
Oh, I really want to play this. This looks awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. This is the cool stuff about getting it. This is why the duplicate rule works out in a lot of cases.
Yeah. So, is this a one-off? Like no sequels?
I don't believe it got any sequels. It's just that.
Cool.
So.
All right.
Where's Sylvan Tale, Nintendo? I'm so used to saying Nintendo. Where's Sylvan Tale, Sega?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, come on, Sega. Put it on NSO.
Apparently you can revisit areas, but the game progresses linearly, and each area can only be accessed if he has a specific item. The main character has a specific item or ability from a previous area. So,
Press Play Adjacent says it's made by the original Puyo Puyo devs. Is that right?
Oh, did not realize that. Yeah, the directors are Katsuhiro Hasegawa and Yoshio Yoshida. I don't know what else they've worked on.
Unless I'm reading an old comment, I might be. Whoops. Oh no, that was okay. That was about last. Whoops.
Oh, okay. Whoops. That's all right. Let's see. What else is it? I'm just doing a quick look through of what he's done. He's director on the Master System version of Golden Axe, the Master System version of Shinobi. Oh gosh, the way this is organized is not. He's gotten a lot of thanks. This is what I'm seeing a lot for this, but yeah, he's definitely been involved a lot in Sega, in Sega games. Oh, here's a big one. He directed at least 4 Saturn games, including Virtual On.
Oh, cool!
I love Virtual On.
Yeah.
So
rad.
There's that. He was also the director of the Sonic Drift games. So
not bad.
There you go. Sure, why not? That's it for the Game Gear. Let's move on, speaking of, to the Sega Saturn, where we only had one game on here that needed to be replaced, and that was Sonic Jam.
Sonic Jam.
And Sonic Jam is every game in that collection made it on individually,
Yeah.
thanks to the Genesis. And the 3D portion of it where you run around is not significant enough.
The vibes are significant, but the game is not.
Yeah. It's like, it's a good version, something very neat to check out, but not really worth it to have as its own individual lineup, especially when it gets replaced by Guardian Heroes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not even questionable.
Yeah, I have not played Guardian Heroes because I was sadly I did not get into gaming magazines at the time, so I had no idea what was coming out on the Saturn that was any good. I got lucky a few times, not very often. So I missed out on a lot of the actually good games on the Saturn. But it's a 2D side-scrolling beat 'em up created by Treasure.
Yeah, and it's really, really good. I played the Xbox Live Arcade version originally, and it's a pretty good version. But then went back and played the Saturn version. I think that the vibes of standard definition just make those sprites gleam. The 360 version has like two modes, like the retro mode and the new mode, and it was that time where developers really loved to just smooth everything, so you get a really bad first impression of Guardian Heroes there. But play it on Saturn. It's a great mix for great fit for that controller. The visuals are outstanding, and Treasure. I'm pretty sure I've never made a bad game in their lives, and if they have, we're just mistaken, and it's good in some way.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
Looks like it definitely has a feeling of Capcom's D&D games, beat 'em ups, and also a bit of Dragon's Crown.
Yeah, totally.
Its big thing is that there's actually 3 lanes. So you switch between the lanes and fight along those, and that's, you can use that to actually dodge enemies by switching between them.
It's a little bit Planet-like.
Yeah, exactly.
The subgenre that we all call.
that's common. Apparently, there's even multiple paths through the story, so get different endings, bosses, levels. So it's a lot of replayability in there. So not bad. That seems like a great version to have. Why hasn't this been re-released again?
I don't know. We've had a decent amount of Treasure make their way onto this list, which is understandable because they are one of the greats, and it's so sad that they're basically just a studio of a few employees now. They can't really make an original game anymore.
Yeah, it's such a shame.
Yeah.
Very often listed among the best beat 'em ups of all time.
Yeah.
As well. So this makes sense. All right, moving on to our 90s Windows poll. Doom. It was already on DOS, so no need to put it on Windows again. It's the same version, not really anything different. So instead, it gets replaced by the original Age of Empires. Age of Empires 2 had already made it on there. Now Age of Empires 1 is on there as well, which I'm not up to date enough on Age of Empires to say what is different between the two of them. What makes the original one potentially better than the second one?
I'm not so sure either. I started with 2. It felt like 2 is where it got really popular because I had a lot of friends who had Age of Empires 2, and I don't think I knew anybody playing the first.
I'm sure I did. I mean, it had to have done something because they did release a definitive edition, so they remastered the game back in 2018. So
that's right, they did.
So there's still, and they've since gone on to do the same for Age of Empires 2 and Age of Mythology. So they're getting through there, but that's still interesting. It's enough. It set the framework at the very least. And you got these different empires that you work through: the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Babylonians, and the Yamato civilizations. Each one has their own campaign. And have you played Age of Empires before?
Yeah. I played a lot of 2 growing up. I played a little bit of 4, but 2 is my main one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've only friends tried to toss me into the deep end with I think it was Age of Empires 2, or something like that. They went back to play, and I'd never played it before. It was not the RTS I grew up with. So the fact that I had to construct villagers and manage how many villagers could be in there, as long with other units, is like I was just like so slow. And the same thing repeated when I played Age of Mythology. It was like, oh god, I am woefully inefficient at this. It's cool. It's a lot of fun, but I'm bad at it.
Yeah. I am looking forward to this series, hopefully coming to Switch, because it's on PS5 now. I don't think the first Age of Empires is it 2 and 4? I've lost track of what they've ported, but
Sure.
there's a good hope that this is going to get mouse controls on the Switch at some point.
Let's hope so. That'd be
Mm.
cool. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Um, next game that got we had a duplicate of is Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
Because it had already qualified on the Dreamcast, and it showed back up again on 90s Arcade. Makes sense. So it got replaced with Tekken 3, which, considering we didn't have any Tekken on before that point, good. Tekken needs some flowers.
And this didn't make it to PlayStation, which always felt horribly wrong. That was one of the most defining games of the platform. When I think PlayStation, I think like Crash Bandicoot, Final Fantasy VII, Spyro, Tekken 3, and a few others. But Tekken is just so synonymous with that era. And it's still one of the best fighting games ever. It's so packed full of charm and love, and it's just so well made.
I mean, this was an era where a lot of times arcade ports were just the arcade, like it's basically just the arcade version, maybe a few extra things here and there, but Tekken 3 packed it full of extra stuff, because I believe that this had the Tekken ball, right, with the volleyball thing. You had the beat 'em up mode that you could go through. Obviously all the the normal fighting stuff that you could do. Like, I never picked up Tekken 3 myself, but a friend had it and brought it over, and I was definitely thrown off by the fact that each button corresponded to a limb. So I was thrown off by that. So he whooped me because he showed no mercy. But it still stands out to me. Like, it was a beautiful looking game, and reminded me of, appropriate enough, I was more familiar with Virtual Fighter at the time. And but I was so impressed with how much extra stuff was in there. And
it's odd that the director of Tekken has gone on to say that they don't look back, so they just make another Tekken game rather than doing like collections. So the most we're ever going to get is just like PlayStation classics, PS1 ROMs, which is fine. But I think that there's so much charm in older Tekken games, and it's a shame that they're just going to be left on their platforms. I'd love a classic Tekken collection.
Yeah, same here. Like, apparently the I think, didn't it just come out like as part of like Sony's service
classic stuff?
We came back, and apparently it's a really good version where they cleaned it up a bit, which is cool. I just prefer a collection so everybody can get it. And even just having Tekken's 1 through 4, 1 through 5, that'd be cool. I don't know, up until the PS3, like, it's just all the PS1 and PS2 games, pop it on there. Why not?
Throw some tag tournament in.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about tag tournament. Yeah, give some tag tournament there. So, oh well. But hey, Tekken 3 is now on there, gets to be represented.
We've righted a wrong.
Yes, fighting games have struggled to get on here a bit. Obviously King of Fighters managed all right because of the Neo Geo specific poll, but Mortal Kombat never made it in.
Oh, that's right.
Feels weird.
Yeah, it does feel weird.
So, but there we are. Let's go ahead and move on to the PSP. And this is the one where the War of the Lions already made it on, but rather than get a new Switch 2 game with the Evil East Chronicles, we decided the Evil East Chronicles was sort of the more up-to-date version and get a new PSP game.
Yeah.
And our PSP replacement was Daxter.
I feel like PSP can do better than this. Daxter was a showpiece, though, at the time. That was very much like, look, they've made an original game that looks like a PlayStation 2 game on a handheld. I remember looking at it in magazines and thinking, this is so far ahead of what DS is doing. But we've got like a Jak and Daxter game on a portable, and it looks as good as all the other ones. Then time passes, and the dust settles. It's not bad. It's a good game. But it is not Jak and Daxter quality. But that said, it is really beautiful, and it was a great showpiece for what PSP could do. So historically, it's important, but PSP has a lot better games than Daxter.
Yeah, I've not played Daxter, so I'm not entirely familiar with what how it feels in general. I do know that its whole thing is bug hunting because apparently in order to try to it takes place between 1 and 2 where Daxter's trying to find it's all about trying to find where Daxter's being kept hostage the entire time. So he apparently goes into a bug catching service in order to get the details or whatever. It's okay. That's different. That's interesting. Honestly, have you played the Ratchet and Clank games on PSP?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Is it better than those? Because I have played those and those are rough.
I'd say they're quite comparable.
oh no.
maybe a bit better than Size Matters. Maybe.
Okay, that's something at the very least. Yes, Size Matters and Secret Agent Clank. They just don't feel that great to play. But I'm also a big Ratchet and Clank fan, so it just they suffer a bit. Like they're not loaded with mini games. Daxter's not loaded with mini games, right? So at least it focuses on the platforming, so that probably helps it.
But the platforming's fine. It's not as good as Jak and Daxter, and then the content isn't as great either. But it's still. I think it mostly gets its flowers because it was an early notable game rather than necessarily the best of what PSP has to offer.
Right. Here's a question for you. Do you remember Death Jr.?
I do remember Death Jr.
Because that was the big game I felt like they were always promoting for the PSP. It's like, look what the PSP can do. Look at Death Jr.
Yeah.
I've never played it, so I have no idea.
Well, Death Jr. didn't make it, and Daxter did. So who's laughing now?
Yeah, exactly. Oh gosh, but Daxter on PSP made it. But by the same token, this one was a little harder to determine. I could see both aspects, but ultimately decided to nix it. Castlevania: The Dracula X Chronicles, because you do have an original 3D, 2D, well, so 2.5D technically, version of Rondo of Blood. There is new stuff in there. There's a new boss and whatnot. There's new graphics. But it didn't seem like enough different from Rondo of Blood, which already made it in. Plus, Rondo of Blood's already in it, along with Symphony of the Night is in this version. It just felt like there wasn't enough to help it stand out. So it should probably be cut because of that.
Yeah. It's still like historically important because it was like the easiest way to play Rondo of Blood for a long time. And it's
first cool we got it in English too.
Yeah.
And a brand new dub for Symphony of the Night that people I think it does the job. It
does the job, but the original dub is just so it's just so delightful. It's like I miss that era of just 90s anime direction. Like everything just felt so charming.
Mm-hmm. And as Down Off the Line points out, Patrick Seitz is Dracula. That's good. True. That's good casting. But you notice that that's all anybody talks about, and Dracula doesn't exactly show up in the game a ton.
Yeah,
you don't hear about Richter's voice acting or Alucard's new actor. So, but yeah, that was replaced by God of War: Chains of Olympus.
Yeah. Did any other God of War make it on PSP, or was it just Chains of Olympus?
Just Chains of Olympus.
Cool. All right. So no
there was also Ghost of Sparta.
Yeah. They were both really good. Of all the PlayStation franchises on PSP, because we had like Ratchet, we had Daxter. I'd say for the most part, PSP was quality-wise led by other publishers. But Sony did so well with God of War on this system that they just felt like PS2 entries. A little bit smaller in scope, but the core gameplay was always as good as the others, and they were so good that they had their own HD remasters later on, because they do feel pretty equal to the console games. And Chains of Olympus is probably the one I played the most out of these two as well, and I had a great time with that.
Yeah, I picked up both of them. It was a really good time. It feels like you're playing God of War. Like that's the best. That's really the best thing you can say about it is that it just plays like those, and it's just kind of fun. Like it's nothing exactly new about it.
It's not innovative. It's just more God of War.
Exactly, but that was sort of the charm of it. Is God of War on the PSP.
Mhm.
You can be able to take it on the go. Has its own original story. This one takes place halfway through his service to Ares, so he's helping out with all that. There's even a callback to it in God of War 3 because this is where he first meets Helios before he kills him in God of War 3. So there's that whole thing. But apparently this is the highest rated PSP game by critics.
Oh, that feels odd.
Yeah.
There must be better ones. Like, what did reviewers give Luminous at the time? Were they
I
were they were they blind?
It's easy to forget just how um untouchable it felt God of War was. Like it was
Yeah,
just like everybody loved it. It was just it hit those right notes
yeah.
that mm, just you really just dug. Um yeah, and developed by Ready at Dawn, who very good at their ports at the time. Unfortunately, the one time they got the chance to do their own, that's really funny actually. They also did Daxter.
Yeah.
So the two Ready at Dawn games made it in.
Yeah.
Thanks to what we got replaced. But they did the Wii port of Okami, and then of course they did the God of War stuff, and then they got the chance to do their own original
Was
game
it
with
Jack
the
4?
Order. Huh?
Was it Jack 4 they did or not?
No, they didn't do
No.
Jack 4.
Oh, the
But
Order. That's right. The Order. Yes.
they got to do the Order 1886, and that bombed, and they've not done anything since. They've been stuck doing Lone Echo games apparently called for Oculus Rift. So
I want to revisit the Order at some point. It's one of those games where when it's full price and you get all these headlines of it being like 3 hours long, like that's obviously a bad thing. But if you pick it up like these days for dirt cheap, like are there merits to judge it by still? I don't know. I want to give it another try at some point though.
yeah. Oh, I didn't realize this. Ready Dawn was closed in 2024
Oh,
by Reality Labs, formerly Oculus Studios. So they're gone now. That sucks.
Zuckerberg.
Seriously.
Can't trust that Zuck.
That's unfortunate. But hey, I'd be interested to go back to this, see if it holds up on its own merits other than just God of War on PSP.
Yeah.
But I remember it being still fun for that style.
Yeah, same.
All right. Next up, going to the Xbox 360. The orange box got replaced because every single individual game in that collection made it elsewhere. So there was no reason to keep it in. So instead, we replaced the collection with Gears of War 2.
And we didn't have any Gears of War prior?
No, we did not.
No.
This is our only Gears of War game on the list. And man, Gears of War is like the biggest thing for a while.
It felt so weird to have a 360 list with no Gears of War. Like you said, this was huge. It was at that sort of time where it's a similar time for Halo 3 and Gears of War 1, I think like a year apart maybe. And that 360 year was so formative. Like that 2005, 2006, 2007 sort of era really made that system cool. And they spent a lot of time undoing that. But that original launch era was so cool. And Gears 2, easily my favorite one. Gears has a really cool mix of like horror and sci-fi and just general like Battlezone Wars that really set it apart. It felt cool to play. And without Gears of War, we wouldn't have had like that Tomb Raider reboot. We wouldn't have had Uncharted. They're all sort of born from that DNA. It's innovative as well, like the reload mechanic where you double tap to reload faster.
You have to time it more so to get a quicker reload time, and
it was a really influential game. The cover system as well. That was everything after that.
Everybody wanted to use that. It had this nice, like you're like these walking walls of meat, but it still had a bit of momentum to you when you got moving like that, and the combat felt really satisfying. The enemies you fought were always interesting. Like it's just naturally fun to use that chainsaw gun.
And after Gears of War 1, like Uncharted was just Gears of War again, but more colorful and with some platforming. Like that core shooting is identical.
Oh yeah,
so that's how good it was. And And Gears 2 had just some brilliant set pieces, like the giant worm that eats the city. Fantastic online as well. It was the full package.
Yeah. I think it was also the front runner to introducing horde mode.
Oh
Horde
yeah, you're
mode was
right. You're right. Yeah,
huge at the time because and I remember playing that with friends. Like you just get a group of friends together and like let's just see how long we can last.
yeah. God,
And
it really was a very influential franchise. I haven't thought about it much, but the cover system, the reload mechanics, horde mode, a lot of what it did just found its way into every other game.
yeah, and I think that maybe watered it down so much that all these other games were using it that they found no other ways to like maybe after 3 that they maybe because I haven't played beyond 3
Yeah.
they struggled to have their identity at that point.
I lost interest after 3 as well. I've tried dabbling, but I don't think I've kind of lost interest in Gears. But that first trilogy I love.
Yeah, so glad to make it on here though. That way it has its chance. So there we go. Moving on, we have the Wii. Because Twilight Princess made it onto the GameCube and the Wii, so we took all away the Wii one, and in place of that, Donkey Kong Country Returns made the list.
Cool. Yeah. I remember with the Wii list, there's definitely a lot of games I would like to see on there. But it's understandably what made it. DKC Returns it is a great game. I think we compare it to Tropical Freeze a lot, so it ends up seeming lesser. But there's a lot of things to love in there. The way they redefined DK was really smart. Like keep what works. They kept the momentum of the roll, but then they also they let you. I think the free flowing was a lot better in the retro games, especially because you can pan the camera out. If you go back to play those rare games, especially in some underwater sections, it gets very tight. Sometimes it'd be very difficult to dodge things. Whereas the retro games just give you these huge angles, and they let the visuals sing. And after Returns, like every game had a silhouette level. It was inescapable for a while. It still is in a lot of platforms. They're everywhere.
It's cool the first time you see that. It's like, oh my gosh, that looks incredible.
Yeah.
And you just wanted to see more of it, like because you're nervous about it. It was like one of those things like I'm not sure, like it's not rare. Is it going to be all right? And I mean, at the time when it first came out, I actually liked Donkey Kong Country Returns more than Mario Galaxy 2. I thought it was a fresher take. I liked the challenge to it. I thought it was I having that teeth there was really cool, and I just clicked with it. I don't know. There's definitely issues I can see with it now that maybe help doesn't raise it up to that same level. But I just looked up the spread here, and the number 12 was the one after it was Super Paper Mario, which also would have been cool to make it in here.
Yeah.
But it handily beat it by 500 points. So
yeah, not close then.
Yeah, not close.
I mean, compared to all the other platformers Nintendo were doing, like New Super Mario Brothers Wii, cool game, but it's also more New Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Kirby's Return to Dreamland. It was a cool game at the time because Kirby was returning to consoles, but looking back on it now, maybe a little bit on the vanilla side. Whereas Returns, I think it's just mechanically new and interesting. And it was, like, in terms of production quality, way ahead of everything else Nintendo was doing. Like, every level felt like it wasn't made in a level editor. It wasn't just like place this block here. Everything felt like it was stitched up from scratch in the environment. Lots of new characters too. I know people want the Kremlins back, but it was cool to have so much new stuff. Not necessarily all the drum enemies, but like the giant bat and all those other set pieces you have in there. It just felt fresh.
Yeah, it did. So cool to see it on here. All right, next up, Minecraft Classic getting replaced because it's Minecraft. It's still Minecraft. Was it to be separate? I don't know, but ultimately, no, it's not as inherently that different from what my current Minecraft is. It's fine. So instead, we get The Sims, the original Sims.
Yeah, this no-brainer. This is the best trade-off we ever had. I'm sure there's Minecraft fans out there who can tell you a list of differences between classic and modern, but The Sims is just one of the most important games ever. It was, it felt like everyone who had a capable PC had The Sims. Everyone's got their own little story. Some people, use money cheats to build their own houses. Other people recreate their families. Other ones lock their enemies in a room and take the door away. Everyone's got their own play style for The Sims. And this first one has a really cool aesthetic too, where it's like there's a lot of 2D elements in there, and then the soundtrack is probably one of the most iconic of any PC game. Even if The Sims 2 did a lot better, I think The Sims 1 is just a solidified vibe that hasn't been replaced.
No, I've never quite clicked with it myself because life sims don't really do much for me. But I'd go to my friend's house and they'd have The Sims, and they'd show me like, hey, let's drown them, or let's torture them, that sort of thing. Or you'd have other people like really build up a house and all that stuff. What was interesting to me is the idea of like, I don't know if it ever happened, but taking the Sims that you have and putting them into SimCity, your SimCity, so you have your own world. And I'm not sure that was ever really done, but either way, I mean, I cannot deny how influential it is. So, yeah, deserves to be here. All right, next up is our arcade getting replaced up because Street Fighter 4 made it onto the 7th gen multi-platform. So there's no need. So it being on the present arcade, that's a duplicate. So it got now instead we got Mario Kart Arcade GP. I honestly I don't know if there's that much of a difference between Arcade GP and Arcade GP DX. I just left them separate. It's like whatever.
So there's 3 of them, isn't there? There's GP1, GP2, and then DX. DX is a new one. GP1, GP2 are like extensions of each other. So GP2 is like all of GP1, but some new characters and new tracks. That's mostly it.
So they are different. That's good.
DX 1 and 2 are different games. Yeah,
it's too late now. That's really what it comes down to. But otherwise, okay. Yeah, good to know.
But they are good though. They are really good. They're made by Namco. So you got Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. There's Pac-Man stages. Every track is distinct. The drifting's a bit different too. It's like you don't just hold a drift button, you have to like let go of the pedal and then smack down again. I think these are genuinely really good games.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to ever play them myself, but so cool that they're there.
Yeah,
that's it's neat. it's a neat thing for arcades. So that's what. Not much else to say about that. Next up, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, that got multiple wins. It got replaced by House of the Dead 4.
Oh, yeah, cool choice.
Yeah, I think we got House of the Dead 2 and House of the Dead 4. We skipped 3. Okay. House of the Dead 4, I believe, is much more modern.
That was...
I've never seen House of the Dead 4 anywhere.
It got a PS3 release, only on PSN, for PlayStation Move. So, like, not the most ideal way to play, but it's pretty good. And I think 3 changed the gameplay quite a bit with all the weapons it had. Like, it felt less satisfying to shoot the zombies with your gun in 3. 4, it's a weird vibe because it's very modern looking. And I think House of the Dead kind of thrives in that lo-fi Dreamcast aesthetic. But 4 pulls it off really well. And the gun quality feels a lot better. And just the pacing's really good. I still say 2 is the better game, but 4 is a pretty good one though.
Okay, that's cool. I don't even think I realized 4 was a thing because I'm so used to being like I know 1, 2, 3, and then Overkill because Overkill was a big thing at the time, but also it's very much its own thing. Still, it's cool. It actually got a PSN release. Who knows how easy it is to play this game anymore? But
the moment Sony go through with taking PSN down, then House of the Dead 4 goes with it.
Yeah, and it did support the PlayStation Move, so there's that. Still, always happy to see more like-on games get on here.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's that. Next up, the other duplicate we had was Power Stone 2, and its new replacement is Ikaruga.
Wonderful.
Another
Absolutely
treasure
wonderful.
game.
Yeah, another treasure game. Ikaruga is fantastic, though. This was like the first shmup I really got into, because it's difficult, but it's also quite, especially that opening level, is quite easygoing. Because you get all these bullets flying your way, but your color makes you invulnerable to certain amounts of them. But you're also rewarded for not just doing that. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're meant to be shooting enemies with the opposite color to what you have to get a better combo going. So there's this risk reward of, do you play it safe and just absorb all the bullets, or do you go the other way around and get a better score? Which just gives you this really cool difficulty without a mode. It's just like, which way do you want to play, the safe way or the more score chasing way? So I got really into Ikaruga.
A friend of mine had it, and I gave it a shot because I heard everybody praising it. Oh my god, this was overload for my brain. Maybe I do a little bit better now, but at the time, I'm like, oh god, I can't keep track because I want to do more damage, but I want to absorb the stuff, and I don't know what to do, and I'm can't make up my mind. And oh god, there's so many bullets on the screen because I have not. This is a genre I just have not done much. I've played much of, and it was just, oh my god, what's happening?
Yeah, I would go back to it because it's not as daunting as it seems. That there's a lot of things happening on screen, but if you can sort of shut off part of your brain and just ease off and let your fingers take the wheel, it's not as difficult as it seems. It does get very hard as it goes on, but those opening levels I think you can get through quite easily.
That's, I mean, I've always heard good things. It's one of those games I wouldn't mind going back to at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that initial impression definitely colored me a bit. But I appreciate it for what it does. I can appreciate how unique it is and why it stands out. I'm just bad.
Yeah. And the Switch version has the vertical tate mode, so you can just put the
Oh
Switch on its
yeah,
side and play it the way it's meant to be played. That's really cool.
that is really cool. So yeah, our next duplicate was Cave Story. Um, but again, that already, because there was a tie on that one, so Audio Surf made it on since it was with off. So
Yeah.
whoops, I should have skipped that, but I didn't read ahead enough. Next, what I should say next up is Alien Hominid. That had a duplicate thanks to Flash and 2000 Era's Indies. Instead, Machinarium made it in.
Oh, wonderful! Yes, yes. I
Yes.
really enjoyed Machinarium. Can never decide how it's pronounced, but let's go with Machinarium. Really, really cool. This was in that sort of formative indie era where we had like Super Meat Boy and all those other sort of early indies. And this was the first like modern point and click I can remember, and it was really well done. Not an ounce of dialogue, just this really great aesthetic. Um, and you're able to like stretch a little boy up and down to make him taller or shorter. You get all those items that you can mix together. Like it's just a very simple point and click, but that vibe takes it a long way.
I think I got this as part of a Humble Bundle.
Hmm.
But a lot of times when it happens with those Humble Bundles is, look at all these games I got. Oh God, which one do I play?
Yeah, yeah,
And it just sort of suffered because of that. So I always see it on my Steam list, and I just never went back to it. But I love the art style. Art style
yeah.
is
It's
gorgeous.
gorgeous, gorgeous. Great music too. Yeah, it's. I love this game. Yeah, I played it a bunch. Played it on like PC, played it on Vita, I think. A few other places as well. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a great game.
Yeah, available on Switch now, so it is very easily available to
Yeah,
play wherever. Um, it's it's cute. It'd be interesting to go back to this and see how I handle the adventure game aspect, because
mhm.
I never really did a lot of point and click adventures before that point. Um, and I just took a quick look and see what this Omnia Designs have gone on to do. They've made a lot of games, not a lot I've heard about.
Yeah, I've not really followed their work much either.
Yeah, like I've never heard of Pilgrims or Creeks.
No, I'm not so sure either.
Yeah, the next game is apparently Phonopolis. They're still cranking them out there. I just don't hear about them much. So good on them.
Yeah.
Next up, our replacement game is Toho Yo-Yo Moo Perfect Cherry Blossom.
Okay.
And have you played any of the Toho games, John?
I don't think so. I've got a buddy who is extremely Toho heavy. Went to London Comic Con and he just went a beeline for the Toho booth.
Oh
Big fan.
wow.
I don't know much.
I learned about it thanks to me playing Toho Luna Nights. I was looking it up, like up the history of Toho and exactly what it all is all about, and you know, what the heck, why is it like the way it is? And it's mainly because it was a Dojin game, basically a Japanese indie game, where they just literally go to these indie meets and you bring your game and have like, I have 20 copies of this game I made that anybody can pick up and play and do it that way. Before it was possible to have it all online. And Toho just took off because it is it's a vertically scrolling shooter in the same way as Ikaruga, with its own ideas, but also its own set of characters and then their interpersonal relationships and whatnot that you go through there. And he decided, thanks to the popularity of it, with each new game he brought, it would just sell more and more copies, that he just opened it up to everybody. As long as you credit him, you can take it. And people have taken these characters and transplanted them to just about every genre under the sun. You name a genre, they have done it. Is insane. Perfect Cherry Blossom, I believe it looks to be the 7th game in the series, of the official series.
I know there's a lot of shmups, right? There's a lot of Toho shmups, but I don't know what I am. I'm very uneducated.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what makes it different, what makes it stand out. But you have 3 different playable characters, each with their own shooting styles. So there's also that. Apparently there's a cherry scoring system, hence the name, where you shoot enemies and grazing, having enemy bullets reach the edge of the player hitbox increases the cherry meter, and bombing or dying decreases it. The higher your cherry meter, it allows the player to gain more points and point them. So there's a risk reward mechanic where you want to get close to the bullets but not touch them, a la Undertale or Deltarune, and that way it builds up a meter that then gives you even more points. So that's interesting in itself. But yeah. Oh gosh. In order to get the gun ending, you have to beat the game without using a continue.
Yeah, that's not happening.
No. I'm looking at a single screen. I'm like, oh hell no, that's not happening. That is insane. That's the other thing well known about Toho, is it's extremely difficult on that. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. It's made it on there. It's just not a series I've played a lot of outside of Luna Night. But it's always I love the origins of it. That's what stands out for me. Next up is us deciding that Ocarina of Time and Ocarina of Time 3D should just be put into one. There's differences, but it's mostly the same. So we took the 3DS version off, and instead the next 3DS game was Mario Kart 7.
Cool. And this is one you didn't play, right?
Yeah, I skipped this one. I skipped this one.
It's an interesting one because it was clearly rushed. It was that year where 3DS didn't launch very well. And so this one doesn't have like Waluigi. It's got like Waluigi pinball, but no Waluigi playable. But
it has the B.
Has the B. Like they clearly just threw whatever they could in. However, it's a great game. I played a lot of 7. And I think what made it so good, especially in its era, was like it felt ahead of Wii, because the Wii U wasn't out yet, and so like the Nintendo handheld being like the furthest along Mario Kart was really cool. Like you had some great new tracks in there. The online was great, and it's the balance really that went through, because Wii, as fun as it is a chaotic game. Like you'll get bullet bills everywhere, mega mushrooms, all that. 7 was a lot more balanced in the favor of just skill, I guess. But he also gave us underwater and flying for the first time. 8 would do it again like a year or two later, but as the introduction, it was great. And the stereoscopic 3D effect was really good. And it's the only Mario Kart with a first person view, which I always forget exists. You press like up on the D-pad, it goes to the wheel, and like I think you control with gyro. Odd, but it's in there.
Yeah, that's I think what happened to me looking at dates here. I wasn't impressed by everything I saw about the glider. Is like it doesn't really seem to add much. It looks fine. More Mario Kart. I don't know. Something about Mario Kart at the time just wasn't enough to interest me in actually picking up the game, even though they were like tend to be the best selling games on most Nintendo consoles.
Yeah.
But then I also was looking at, looked up the years for this. Mario Kart 7 came out in 2011. Sonic and All Stars Racing Transform came out in 2012. And
yeah,
Racing Transform was way more impressive looking to me at the time with the way they were doing with the levels and the actual flight mechanics and so forth. So I skipped that and played Transformed instead. Eventually came back to Mario Kart with 8, where I felt like the gravity mechanics helped flesh out the others. Like it felt like it gave that third tier to really give identity to the glider and so forth.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal opinion on that whole thing. But yeah,
it was cool having 7 and 8 as like companion games as well. I want one for the road, one for at home. But it's not like 8 came out and replaced 7. And 7 is still actively played a lot today, through like fan mods or fan servers. It's still a really loved game.
Yeah, same. That makes sense. Next up is Persona 4 Golden. I'm actually shocked that this got on in the list, but we just combined it with the original Persona 4. They're mostly the same, outside a few scenarios. And to replace that on the Vita, Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony.
Nice. So Persona 4 was the number 1 game on Vita, right?
Yes.
So we've taken his number 1 away.
we took its number 1 away. Whoops.
Yeah.
It happens sometimes. It's just the way it goes. Sorry, Persona. But yeah, it only just barely beat out Gravity Rush. So I don't feel too bad about that. But yeah, Killing Harmony was just a little bit below Wipeout 2048. I can't say much about it. I have not played Killing Harmony yet, and but I've only played like the demo of it, which is its own unique scenario. I like the characters. I like that all the voice actors are pulled from the previous 2 games, so they mix and match to have its own sort of unique vibe. I know it does something very different because the storyline of 1 and 2 was finished in an anime,
yes,
rather than this. So this is its own sort of thing,
yeah,
in some way. And I know, and apparently the whole idea was that no more Danganronpa after this. What can we do really that changes up the formula at this point? Yeah. Ironically, we're getting 2x2 after this.
I mean, you've nailed it. That's exactly it. Don't know much more I can add. It's the visual style is kind of cool the way they've evolved it, but it's an isolated game. It's one that doesn't really lean on the other ones much. Yeah, I don't want to say like anything specific to the story, but it's really good.
Yeah. Yep. So it's one of those you don't want to say too much about because you don't want to spoil things. So yeah. Well, speaking of Persona getting replaced, we have Persona 5 Royal. Since I made the PlayStation 3, there was no point in having it on the PlayStation 4 as well. So we just combined the 2, and that allowed The Last of Us Part 2 to make it on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
yeah. How do you feel about this one?
I feel like it should be there. I've not played Last of Us Part 2 yet. I've been spoiled on the event, but not the rest of the game. For that kicks off everything. It's one I wouldn't mind going back to, but it's one of those that's also been so debated for so long that I'm not inclined to, like, it's not high up on my list to revisit,
Yeah.
But I've heard
I do like The Last of Us Part 2.
Good things.
I think the first game left a big impact. I felt I thought about it for a long time. The second one, it's one of these games like I finish and I liked it, but then I didn't really think about it a whole lot. And I think part of that's because I never really felt like it needed to happen. The first one, I think you could have ended it there. Like the story wasn't over, but it didn't need a continuation really.
Yeah.
And then the second one comes along. It comes out. It's fine. It's still really good. There's still some great moments. I still enjoyed it. But yeah, it just didn't leave that mark in the same way. Maybe that's because it's another Last of Us. Maybe it can't do that.
Yeah. Oh, I heard it. I did see it suggested from people that Last of Us should have gone more of the anthology route,
Hmm.
or keep it Last of Us, but focus on a different set of characters, different
Yeah,
storyline. And I know that you build up that love of these characters, but that also, because of the story choices they did, that also kind of backfires on them a little bit with what they decide to do with those characters. So it makes it a little tricky in that aspect, I feel like.
yeah.
Um, so
I
I don't
I do
know.
like it when storytelling allows pillars to be torn down.
Mhm.
So you've grown to love these characters, and I think it's okay to uh, ruin them. I think it's okay to kill them. It's okay to take them in ways you don't like. Like feeling uncomfortable, I think can lead to really interesting circumstances. And Last of Us Two pulls it off really well. I feel,
Mhm.
um, and it does develop a lot as well. Because Ellie's a lot older. It's more her adventure. That there are really interesting parts to the story here, and I think taking those risks to tear things down is part of why it succeeds.
Yeah. Yeah. I think um there's merit in it being here
Yeah,
for sure. Although this has nothing to do with The Last of Us Part Two, but apparently there's a mission in Ghost of Yote where it's about talks about revenge, and it's like, oh, another Sony game talking about what happens if you commit to yourself too much to revenge. How
yeah,
original.
a little trend. Sad dads and revenge.
Yes, Sad Dads and Revenge. That's the Sony brand now. All right. Well, next up is The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. It made the Wii U list, so it also, of course, it made the Switch list. So instead, on the Switch, we get Pikmin 4.
Payment 4. Oh, excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Yes, very happy actually. Um, yeah, I think Breath of the Wild. Everyone sees it as a Switch game, even though it originated on the Wii U. But you got to give Wii U its credit there. Pikmin 4, though, we had a big gap between 3 and 4. And the
Mhm.
series up until 3 was all quite iterative. They did new things, but the actual feel and look of the games, they were all quite similar. 4, like, gives you this over the shoulder view, changes the gameplay a lot. It's a lot more adventure-y, this one, than the prior
Mhm.
ones. But you lose a little bit of that RTS in there. There's still elements, but it's a lot more about feeling like you're in control, I guess. Some really, really clever things too. And it does that Mario thing where the core adventure isn't that difficult. You just make your way through and it's fine. And then you have like a whole game after the credits, and that's where it really gets challenging. Um, and yeah, we're finally getting an update like that. That's out now, right? Like New Game
Is
Plus
that
and all that. I haven't tried that
huh.
out yet, but yeah, Pikmin 4 is wonderful.
Yeah, I've only played the first two Pikmin games, so I've not gotten a chance to go beyond that. But I mean, it's gorgeous. I've seen it played, and just, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I like the change in views, perspective, as you said. Um, it seems like it seems just like a really fun game, and apparently people, that is another hallmark of Nintendo not caring about canon.
Oh yeah, yeah. The introduction is going to confuse you. Yeah, you're like, wait, didn't this happen?
Wait, what's going on here? Whatever. The Nintendo method. But yeah, no, it's cute. I like the idea of making your own character, give it a little bit
Yeah,
more personality. Continues the trend of making Louise just a monster.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, there you go, Pikmin fans.
You got them
Thanks to this
all,
and the wild card, you have every single Pikmin game
apart
on
from
the
Hey
list,
Pikmin.
apart from Hey Pikmin and Pikmin Blue. Every mainline Pikmin.
Mm,
But by that same merit, Mario Kart 8 made the Wii U list. So Mario Kart 8, of course, adds a bunch to it, but it's still essentially the same game. You can combine the two pretty
yeah.
easily, which means our next game from the Switch made it on as well, which was Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Also wonderful. Yeah, yeah. I think if I grew up with this game, I would think about it all the time.
Mhm.
Right as it is. I finished it. I revisit it every now and then because my daughter likes to play it. Um,
Same.
but I think my own personal view is it's a fantastic game, incredibly creative. Every level feels meticulously designed, but if I didn't have kids playing it, I think I probably wouldn't think about it that much. And I think it's partly because it doesn't have like that big challenge at the end. Like
Mhm.
it finishes, and then you get that one challenge level, which is quite challenging. But then after that, nothing really pushes you to embed it in your mind. If it had something like that, which it might be getting with its Switch 2 edition, I think this would be one of the best Mario platformers. But it just needs it needs a tad more memorability in there.
Yeah, there's stylistically it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
The talking flower is surprisingly charming.
yeah,
Um, and there's just all the wonder effects definitely adds a lot more, adds a lot of just charm to the game as a whole. And yeah, it's great seeing, you know, my son play through it and having him enjoy it, and see what the game has to offer. He's played it multiple times. He made a point of deleting my 100% save file. It's learned lesson of
yeah.
not don't hold on to things. But you know, I had the memory that I did it. It's fine. It's okay. No big deal. But he's gone on to beat it so many different times. But it also stands out to me because of that is that the bosses are a little weak.
They are weak.
That's other thing I think it holds it back a bit is it just,
Mm,
you know, you got a few Bowser Jr. bosses, you got some levels with no bosses,
yeah.
and then you have a very typical, in a way, final boss.
It's the no bosses that are the weirdest part because that most 2D Mario games don't have very good bosses, but it's still like a climactic
True.
finish to a world. And to just not have them in some of them, it's like it just doesn't feel like it was done. But it's famously a game that had no deadline. Like they weren't rushing this thing. That's just how they wanted it to be. I'm hoping the Switch 2 edition makes some changes there. But it is fantastic, though.
Oh yeah,
Like you're
I still
saying,
had a blast
visually,
playing this.
yeah, compare it to New Super Mario Brothers, all of them. It is so far ahead of them. The visual tricks of like making Mario sort of face the camera while also being on his side is just so well orchestrated. The music's great too. Like everything it does is so refreshing compared to New Super Mario Brothers. And I think the wonder effects can't surprise twice. Like once you've experienced it, you might avoid the seed, or you might go in again and be like, "Oh, it's this one again." But the first time you go through them, almost every single one of them is just really imaginative and delightful.
Yeah, agreed. So very just gratifying to play. You can play as Daisy for the first time.
Yeah,
Looks like Rosalie is going to be added in, so you might be able to get an entire princess party.
yeah, true.
So sure, why not? Yeah, I was happy to see him make it in.
Yeah,
3 more games that got replacements. This is from our split of the indies because so many made it. You know, there were so many wonderful indie games. Despite us doing a 10-year gap, that was like I think it was Thief 4 RPG split them up and showed what made it. It's like, you know what? Sure, let's split them up and have their own things. That way, more games can get in, have that aspect. Um, so yeah, Cuphead made it in already.
yeah,
Thanks to the Xbox One. So it got replaced by Bug Fables: The Everlasting Sapling. Or,
wonderful. Yeah, I mean
yeah,
it's Paper Mario with bugs.
I have not had a chance to play this one myself. I have picked it up. I have not played it yet. But this filled a niche that people were dying for. It definitely seemed to fulfill that need for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's cool too that it follows like Paper Mario 64 in its visuals rather than Thousand Year Door, and I think that's the more iconic like game visually to me at least. That
Mhm.
style is such a unique look. Like after Thousand Year Door, like every Paper Mario kind of looked like that. Whereas yeah, the first one it's just so distinct, and it was really cool seeing that style come back.
Yeah, and it's you've seen multiple people try to pull off the Paper Mario style,
Yeah, it's
but this
difficult.
one's yeah,
Yeah,
it's not the easiest thing to do, but these guys seem to pull it off the best. There's a I'm guessing the combat is mostly the same as Paper Mario. Like, does it
Yeah,
have does
yeah,
it
it's
have its
very
own
insane.
unique does it have its own unique aspect to it, or is it basically being, hey, you want Paper Mario, here you go?
It's it's got unique abilities, but it's mostly Paper Mario combat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair. Um, Still, I'm glad to see it do so well and just get that praise. I doubt it was a contributing factor in Nintendo deciding like maybe we should go back to Thousand Year Door and remake it. But
No, I think yeah. I mean, it was both an easy port, I suppose, easy remake, but clearly after three adventure games, but there's more adventure games than there are RPGs at this point. Uh, Clearly, critically, something was swinging back that way.
yeah, seems like that. I don't believe they've gone on to do anything else yet. Moonsprout Games,
Don't
have
think
they?
so. Not that I can remember, anyway.
I'd be curious to see what they. Apparently, been working on this game since 2015. So, uh, they they dig into it, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, damn.
So, yeah, Bug Fables making it in. Next up, Ori and the Blind Forest made Xbox One and Indies 2015 to 2019. So it gets replaced by A Short Hike.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
This is visually it's one of those whenever a like a 64-bit 32-bit aesthetic is tried, a lot of the time it looks too clean or just doesn't quite land. This one does. This looks like a lovely looking like Saturn kind of game. Wonderful art style, just super super charming and chill. It's usually pretty cheap as well. This is a very easy one to recommend.
Yeah, and it's not a long game either. You can easily crank this out in an afternoon because, I mean, it literally is a short hike. It's all about the interactions on the way. I've not played it myself, but I watched Amy play it, and it was just charming the entire way through. Making your way up there. It's fun finale. It just it's pleasant,
Yeah.
Cozy gets tossed around a lot these days, but this definitely fits that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's yeah. I don't know if there's really a lot else to say. It's just nice.
Jason says DS style graphics. I guess they are more DS than Saturn, aren't they?
I guess you can kind of see it that way because of the sort of stunty characters. Yeah, that works. But yeah, it doesn't have a lot of like extra stuff. There's a few things to collect and here and whatnot, but even going for everything, it won't take you long to see it all. But it's still, again, just a nice little game. So that was neat to see it make it on there. All right, our last one, Deltarune, already made it on to 2010 to present, so no need to have it on Indies 2015 to 2019, and it gets replaced by Slay the Spire.
Oh, you know what? I haven't played Slay the Spire.
I have not either, but I have friends that are absolutely addicted to it and that they've had like, over 300, 400, 500 hours in the game.
Yeah. It's one I've wanted to try. It's famously a genre that I'm not too into, but there's always a game that cracks, that defiance, and I feel like this might be one. It's a deck building game, but likewise, I've got a lot of friends with a lot of hours. So maybe one day.
Maybe, but again, I see that people with that kind of addiction being like, "Oh no," it's like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to get into that because that's a lot. That is a lot of time devoted to it." And I mean, roguelike and deck building go very well together.
Yeah, of course.
Just because of the nature of cards in general, and apparently there's multiple characters to unlock, multiple relics and cards. Like there's just a ton of stuff to unlock. Kind of has that Hades or Dead Cells aspect to it, of just getting stuff and just, you beat it, but keep trying, keep unlocking more. Maybe Vampire Survivors is almost a better way to do it, because Vampire Survivors is like you beat it, but hey, get these characters, get these things.
It's such a cool era for those who want to keep playing games but might not necessarily have the money to do so. Because you get indies with infinite replay value, and they're all like really cheap. They go on sale a lot of the time too. Like you can have like no money and still get a lot of game out of these, games like Slay the Spire. Really cool era.
I think every one of us here, gaming could die tomorrow.
It would be fine.
And we'd be fine. We'd be set for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
There's so many games to play.
I've thought about this a lot. I thought about I could just not buy another new game ever, and I'd be absolutely fine. They don't need to exist.
Hunt down all these games on our list and all the ones everybody else is talking about that are amazing. You will be set for life, even if you focus only on the games that you really are interested in.
Yep.
Like, all good to go. That being said, Slay the Spire 2 apparently is going to early access March of next year. So, it's getting its own sequels and sets. So, yeah. But yeah, there is all of our games that have made it in that were duplicates. Thanks to the duplicate clause. I think there's a lot of great games in here. I think there's a lot that they are deserving. It's gonna be fun to see where these games are going to end up in the list. Like, do the replacements do better than they would have otherwise? Now that's open up to everybody. How are you going to, like, where's everything going to place? That's the curiosity here right now.
Yeah, it's very hard to say. Like, out of everything we've talked about, I don't know what has top 10 best of all time material. It's hard to say. Like, I've been wrong many times guessing in this, but I don't know what screams this is going to be at the top 10 from what we've discussed today.
Yeah, it's hard to, some of these are hard to imagine making it on to get that high, but you never know. You never know that what might click in the same way as, once again, Umineko.
There's a very real chance of Pikmin 1, Pikmin 2, Pikmin 3, Pikmin 4 being in the top 10.
There is. And that's why, again, I encourage all of you to vote. I know there's a lot of you. It's like, I listen, but I don't vote. Maybe vote on this one.
Yeah, you've got to stop those Pikmin fans, man. You've got to stop them.
I can declare though that as of the recording of this video, at this moment, we have officially beaten the GameCube as most voted on poll.
Yes.
Handily. There are currently 3,100 plus votes in the for greatest of all time. We can get a lot higher than that. There's a lot of we have a good bit of subs. I think all of you watching this can definitely spread that around. There's at any one time the amount of views that these videos get tend to be higher than 3,000. I think we can get that up a lot further. And a lot of you are always like, these Nintendo fans spoiling the well. Beat them. Show us where you're at. Show
them what's what.
Yeah. Let's see what makes the list. Let's get that true spread and see, defy our fan base apparently. I don't know. I'm just trying to get more votes in there because I want to have as wide of a margin as possible and get as many opinions in there as possible to see what makes it. But hopefully all of you enjoyed this little side story to talk about these other games in a much more less stressful way for John. Didn't have to make him
just got to sit back for this one.
Yeah. No guessing on your part. So that has to be nice. So yeah, that'll be about it for our votes or discussion here for our I don't even know what to title. What do we title this video, John? That's a good question.
Don't know.
The replacements. I don't know.
We're gonna make it sound like we have a new crew. We've been replaced by
oh no. That's not good. Either way, these are the ones that got in thanks to the duplicate clause, getting their chance to shine and get talked about here, because I think we talked about all of them in any some slight degree in the past, except for Toho. So yes. At least we get to talk about them. Maybe say what makes them special. And in the case of stuff like Sylvan Tale and Power Strike, maybe get you guys into checking them out a bit more, Yeah,
I mean, Sylvan Tale is very high on my radar now. Like, I'm going to look into playing that soon.
Yeah, so give it a look, see what it's all about. And yeah, and vote. Get your opinion in there. You might your absolute favorites might not have made the list, but I guarantee you can still find 10 games that you really enjoy to vote on. So, and it doesn't even have to be 10, it can be 5, whatever. As long as you put in 1, you're all good. But yeah, that'll be that. So thank you all so much for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to GVG, hitting the like button and ringing that bell. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/GVGaming with plenty of extra perks. So until next time, for the finale, to finally see what our top games of all time are for this whole experiment, we'll see you then. Till next time. Bye.